Yeah, the same with crab and all that stuff. I mean, no thank you.
Shellfish, the whole 9 yards.
Well, it's going to affect all the wildlife, from bears to whatever, otters to whatever it eats, like the whole food chain, like a domino effect. Even if you don't eat it, you're going to get it by proxy some way or another, I'm sure.
Well, I feel sorry that you mentioned bears. I mean, they're starving to death up in Alaska. And, I got a funny feeling even in Washington. I don't know if you heard how our last salmon run was, but what I heard, it wasn't as good as it has been. And I'm just scared that, we're going to just destroy the salmon run.
Time will tell. I've heard reports of the salmon fishing not doing too well up in Alaska either. So it's just the numbers are going down quite a bit.
Yeah, you want to buy some water off of, it's bottled water right off of Japan. It has a lot of minerals in it, and it has a lot of healing capabilities.
Electrolytes?
Yeah, electrolyte.
Yeah.
It keeps you, get a bottle of it and light up your house at night.
Yeah,
Heck with using light
with
bulbs.
the emphasis on lighting.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's pretty good.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they should just take a whole bunch of cement and do what they did in Russia. Just cover the whole thing in, billions and billions of gallons of cement.
I don't even know if that would work. Another thing people don't realize about the bears that are starving. If the bear population goes down, people don't realize how much bears they replant seeds and berries and stuff because from their scat, along with birds and other things. So if the population goes down or they're not eating as much, the food source is going to be cut down. And so the whole thing is all connected. So it's going to affect a lot of things with this, salmon that are poisonous or whatever. It's scary.
Well, how about the bears that eat the radiated, salmon? That would be bad enough. But I went online and I looked at some of these pictures of these starving bears, and I'll tell you, it's scary when you see it.
It is. Have you ever seen any up there where you're at, Sam?
No, and the pictures you're seeing are from Alaska, right?
Yeah, Alaska. Yeah, and these bears, okay. I don't even know how they can hibernate because I don't think they could make it through the winter.
We have a smaller population of bears. I think that's when there's less food, less population gets by. But, like I said, we have more problem with, in my opinion, I see more elk around here than anything, and more so lately. So.
Now, and then what state was it that's been affected there with zombie deer that, you eat it, it can actually, cause you very, long medical problems.
I heard about that.
Yeah, I did too. I don't remember what state that was. Can't recall.
So, because of the fact that it doesn't even show up as symptoms. And you can eat it, and it shows up later on, and it affects you. And I'm telling you, it's just getting to a point of being a vegetarian is not a bad idea, actually.
Well, yeah, we were lucky we don't have mad cow disease. Back, about 10 years ago in the UK, they had it. And, I mean, it was really bad where they had to destroy a lot of the,
thousands.
Thousands of the cattle. But then it was really bad as the people who came down with it, their brains, it didn't take long. And it really destroyed their brain matter.
Yeah, and Pennsylvania, I think, got those zombie deer also that you were mentioning. But that mad cat, yes, lucky we haven't, it hasn't mutated into a form where it really messes humans up. We'd be in trouble.
Well, there is. I mean, there has been, like I said, out of the UK. That if you ate one of these infected cattle that had mad cow disease, you give yourself like 3 or 4 years, and all of a sudden your faculties start not being normal. And then what happens? You eventually die, and when they do the autopsy, they find your brain is pretty much gone.
Oh, Lord. Scary.
Eat bacon. No, you can't.
Yeah,
Pork is just as bad, too. They've had problems with pork. What can we eat? Okay, we can't eat salmon. We can't eat... there's not much we can eat.
Yeah, another scary thing is ticks. Ticks carry all kind of stuff. We don't even know some of the things that they may have yet, and that's scary because ticks is on pretty much everything almost.
Yeah. Yeah, like Lyme disease. But, not just that. I was reading an article about these, they said about these killer bees, that it was coming into California, which it is, and in Oregon and even in Washington. They are aggressive. So if you do bother their nest, they're going to keep stinging you. And there has been deaths because of it. But there's a new super hornet that you take your size of your hand. That's how big these suckers are. And they are really more aggressive yet.
Wow.
That's a big hornet. Size of a hand, human hand, huh?
Size of a human hand. And it is now working its way into the United States. I don't want to see a super hornet that big. Trust me, you know what? Unless I hit it. Well, you know what? If you hit it with your car, you probably shatter your windshield.
That sounds like the makings of a horror movie. I mean, something that big. I'm serious. It's just because it's going to take up so much space and something that heavy. You ain't going to use a fly swatter to hit at something like that. Maybe a badminton thing, something I don't know, or a tennis racket.
Well, I will say the hornets, we used to have here on the farm, their nest was about, let's say a size of I would say a basketball, but about half that size of a basketball. I noticed last year, I didn't even realize it was on our deck on one side of the house. One of my kids said, "Hey, we got a huge hornet nest." I went out there, and that sucker was bigger than a basketball. And like, here's Dad, getting a can of hornet wasp spray, spraying it. I barely made it in the house. I mean, literally thousands of these huge, yellow jackets or whatever they are just started flying out of it. It was huge. Now, I sprayed enough on it that they died off, thank God. But, I mean, I could have really got stung bad.
I think you got to bag those things first before you spray the stuff on it. Or I don't know. I know there's a way to do it without getting stung, but...
Well, these were to the point, we've had hornet nests before. If you even walked near it, they would come out in force. So, I mean, me and hornets and wasps, I stay away from.
I will say this much. If you're somewhere and a bee or a hornet or something runs into you, that is a warning sign. They're trying to warn you. You need to get out of there immediately because next they will attack you. And another thing, if you kill just one, it sets off pheromones that lets the rest of them know danger and attack. So be careful out there with that stuff.
Yeah. Well, winter's time is a good time to get rid of any of the nest. I'll tell you that. Wait till it's been freezing for a while, then get rid of it. Get a fire going, take it down, and throw it in the fire.
There you go.
Yeah. That's
the only upside to winter. A nice cold winter will do wonders to cut that down.
Oh, yeah. But I'm just thinking of ones that I was reading this article about the size of your palm of your hand. And these, you're talking 3, 4, 5 inches in size. Hey, come on, you get one of those. Can you imagine how much venom would be in one of them? But let alone have maybe a couple dozen all of a sudden start stinging you, you're dead.
Those got to be the Japanese hornets that come over on the storage shipping things that they come over, because they're that size and they are deadly. They can kill you with one sting, much less, and they can keep pumping, like you said. Yeah,
no, thank you. And what's really bad is if you don't know, like a bee sting. When I was a little kid, I was stupid. I would go out and catch bees with my hands. And I did that for years. And everybody would go out, "Oh, wow, Gary can catch bees with his hands." One day I got stung. That day I was in the hospital. I found out I was allergic to, bees, the bee stings.
Wow.
You got to have your epinephrine shot with you at all times.
Yeah.
Just in case. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, did you listen to our guest, Paul, at all, Sam?
Oh, absolutely. There was just so much I was in agreement about, and I was especially intrigued about the TOPA entities that are created from the mind. And I've heard of ghost reports, and James, you probably heard of some things where I've actually seen movies where it seemed like the people were energizing these entities so that they come in existence, like they were actually creating the ghost entities in their homes because of the power of the mind.
Yep, mind's a powerful thing. Got to be careful what you focus and think on all the time, because you'll create stuff.
Well, it's my theory that in dream state, what you dream and imagine is reality in another dimension. Think about that.
Oh, then I'm in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, me too.
No.
I don't know.
I don't even want to go down that path, whatever you're referring to.
No, you know what I do? I like having, when I go to bed at night, I plan my dream out ahead of time. It might be strange, but I pick a subject and whatever it is, then I go to bed and then I have that dream.
You actually can control that?
I can control my dream. In fact, if I get woke up, okay, I can go back and finish my dream. And sometimes I have dreams that'll last 2 or 3 days. Or I have a dream and it's not finished. And then I'll, kind of halfway forget about it. And then I'll remember the next couple of days later, oh, gee, I remember this dream and it was so beautiful, what was going on. And I will finish the dream off.
That sounds it sounds like you are actually participating in something, like your consciousness went off somewhere else and it's actually in this other place when you're sleeping.
Sometimes I'll wake up and I'll sit there for a minute and I go, is this reality or what I just came from was reality? Which one is actually reality? Is it when I'm sleeping? Is that reality? Or is it when I'm awake? Is this reality? Or are we a hologram? Or are we on a computer chip, or in some cases, on a CD? What are we?
Are we all sleeping right now and are ready to wake up after the show is over with?
Well, a lot of people probably out there sleeping right now.
Oh, no.
We're all having the same dream.
You don't know.
Anyway.
I mean, that's an interesting concept, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I was listening to a show the other night, and the doctor was on there was talking about, that we might be nothing more than something on a CD, okay, that some alien is running on a computer, playing a simulation of a game. We don't know. Mathematically, it proves it could possibly be. Or, like one guy I used to have on my show, we could be like on the metrics. We could be nothing more than a computer civilization going on.
My last talk show was exactly what you just said. It was about how I think it's almost like a computer simulation about our reality. So went through the whole thing too for about half an hour.
Yeah, I just keep thinking of that one Twilight Zone series years and years ago. It was maybe way ahead of its time, but we could be nothing more. We could be some alien in its bedroom playing a game, and that game for us could be thousands of years. For him, it's maybe a few hours, and we're not even real.
No, we're the aliens playing the game. We go into it for 5 minutes, and then it's like an entire lifetime, and you come out and say, well, that was fun. Let's try another lifetime.
Yeah, I don't know. James, what do you think?
Well, I think if that's the case, my advice to them is they should get a lot more excitable game than us. Jeez, that's just that's crazy.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we're a hologram from another universe too.
Could be. We may not look human. We're probably the most bizarre-looking aliens that you could ever see.
Just think about that. You see an ugly alien, you go, "Oh my God, you're ugly." And then on the other hand, that alien's looking at us and saying, "Oh my God, you guys are the ugliest looking creatures I ever seen."
You know what? There was an episode, Twilight Zone, and that other show, something like it, the same scenario. Remember the one they took the mask, the bandage off the lady, and she looked and she thought she was ugly?
Yep. Yeah, they were all bizarre. They never showed the faces of the people like in that hospital. And she was a normal-looking person. She had to go to a colony off with other people that looked like us. But the others looked very non-humanish looking.
Yeah, didn't they all have pig noses?
Yeah, yeah.